I think he has experience in some matches, but he has the pace to crush right back. We see Slippy Slides banned from G1. They do not want to face Alcon and Mime on Slippy. That's a great map for them. We see Flip of Faith banned against them. Reps, Parkour is open, and Gyroscope is open. These are going to be the first two choices.
There you go. Parkour and
they're
Aero
leaving
Pipes.
Gyroscope for later. Aero Pipes second choice. Reps the third. I think they're going to have to go Gyro on the fourth.
Yeah, G1 goes Gyro.
If they're not going to pick it, I don't know what else they have in store. Slowdown's a great map too. I mean, hey, back and forth. Are they not going to play Gyroscope this game?
You would assume so. They have so great pace on it.
The reason we talk about it is just like Gwen, out of 20 rounds played there, he's won like 13 and driven like 5 world records, and they have a chance to pick it up sixth map. So quite late into the game. Why do you think they favor Aero Pipes and back and forth over Gyroscope this game?
I mean, they might have practiced Aero Pipes because they've exactly seen that a lot of other teams, they don't favor the map. And as you've said, sometimes you gotta pick up something that all the other teams, they seem to not like, and pick that.
I think Into the Breach went clear for comfort here. They didn't try anything new. Parkour, Agility Dash, and Reps are 3 maps we expect to see from them. They played so well on these tracks, and they really just have to clean up their act in making mistakes.
Aero Pipes, back and forth, and a Gyroscope are also great map picks from G1. I'm surprised that we saw Gyroscope so late in the map pick, because we talked about this. You want to get a victory as soon as possible for the momentum for the rest of the match. But I'm guessing that they're saving the best for last and saving the pace that they have in case they don't win earlier.
We shall see. To repeat the points format here, in order to win this game, you have to win 4 maps. To win a map, you have to reach 10 points. Getting first and second place gives you 3 points. Getting first and third gives you 2 points. And getting first and fourth gives you 1 point. That's a draw. So we'll see who takes it. Gwen and Binks versus Mime and Alcon. Get familiar with these names. We're going to see them for the next decade, I hope, in the game, if they keep playing. Amazing talent from France, Poland, and the Czech Republic. And we're starting on Into the Breach's specialty. They're really just their house dish here. Parkour.
Yeah, these truly are the future of the Trackmania esports. These players have just entered, not just, some of them have just entered the pro scene, and they will stay there for a while, assuming that they can maintain that presence that they have now. These are some of the fastest players in the game already, below 20 years old, so let's see what they can bring to the table.
Into the first round we go. Bit of airtime for Mime, and as we see, the car skins are quite similar. You're gonna have to pay close attention to who is who, especially with all the players also having GMB on their car. Again, we are commemorating Gaming Boy 2508, a great talent from Indonesia who very tragically passed away this morning due to a medical condition, and we are honoring him and showing respect in the community. Great to see from all the pro players that they have that on their car. And Into the Breach even having a updated livery just for this alone. Into the first round though, Gwen with a mistake, 3 seconds behind, and we go into the identity. Into the Breach could get off with an ace here in round 1.
They could. It is up to Binks to defend, but we have a mistake from Elcon here in the identity, and Binks is going to get first. Gwen also with a mistake. It does look like this round is going to end in a draw. Gwen could have overtaken there for third.
But what is that time?
What is that? Like multiple seconds ahead, or at least a second ahead.
So the best league time to date was a 1:02:47, 1:02:29. Without the flip strategy is ridiculously fast.
I was looking at the average times. But that is still incredibly fast.
Binks with that pace is essentially just dominating every time driven on this map to date. That is a strong start for Binks.
And that was without the
with a flip, he could have maybe done 1:01.
Yeah. Without the risky ending. So we're gonna have to see if they can maintain this pace right now. G1 showing us what is up here on the first map. This is Into the Breach map pick, and we see G1 once again in the lead, but Gwen with a slight touch that's going to slow him down. Binks once again in the lead going into the identity. He has shown just on the first lap that he has incredible pace. Elcon almost bouncing out the map there, but he maintains his composure, trying to overtake Binks in the ending. Is he going to go for the jump? He goes for the regular jump. Gwen actually getting really close to Elcon in the ending.
Another .2, Binks. What is happening?
Victory.
How is he regu .2?
I mean, I don't know.
Elcon just drove what would be a league record on Into the Breach's best map, their specialty, and Gwen and Binks are cooking up a dish that's even better. They are driving literally league record back-to-back.
I mean, Gwen might as well put himself on the assist spot this map, because Binks' pace here is just unbeatable by the other players.
Let's take a closer look at Binks this round and see what exactly he does. He goes for a very inside approach ice slide, cancels it early to get onto this uphill road. Nice transition down, and already he's gained about a 10th to everyone. Now wants to follow that up with a low quarter pipe jump, close angle, and then a lot of speed in the bobsleigh. Sets that up late, gets high on the wall, carries the grip, but Elcon does him one better. He is keeping up with Binks' good pace. He has a lot to prove here, Elcon. Can he survive the identity this week? Last week, there was a lot of crashes. Now he needs to deny the two G1 players. They're driving extremely fast on the map. The jump onto the parkour part into the pillar. This is an ace possible for G1 with incredible times once again, 102.4. But Elcon was on that .2 pace.
I mean, what is there to say? These players are driving just immaculate paces going into the first map. And now Gamers First, they're putting themselves in a 6-2 position on Into the Breach's map pick. This is not what you want to see if you're an ITB fan.
I mean, just like the times Binks and Gwen are driving there is no other team in the league except the two teams that are on the track right now that can do those times. It is only G1 and Into the Breach. The other teams are slower.
It is unfortunate that we've seen Elcon make mistakes on the crucial rounds where he has the possibility of getting some really good times. We need to see him maintain his composure. What is happening?
Little bit of lag here, at least from a spectator point of view, but it looks like the players are all good and continuing their runs. Gwen up in first ahead of Binks as they make a mistake. It looks like Into the Breach are up in the lead, and we hope that from the players' point of view that this is all clean and that no lags are happening in game, but the result is standing right now. I'm getting scared, Jnic. Elcon. I believe that was a lag, as he would never crash out in such a line. We see Mime, though, still in first. Oh, Gwen with a respawn. This is chaos upon chaos. If parkour wasn't hard enough already, we are witnessing an international space program with the cars flying back and forth. Mime in first.
I mean, so the question is, are the players going to restart here, or what are they going to... Because it's difficult to restart a round in the middle of a match.
It looks like everyone is experiencing this lag.
Also teleport.
The round is skipped. Yes. The round was skipped, so... And they are probably going to take a moment now to fix this lag problem and get us back up to speed so we can have clean rounds. Something went wrong there. But Jnic, I believe it's aliens.
You believe it's aliens? I believe that they figured out the Matrix code and are just jumping in time. Like somebody is making a bug happen IRL.
Do you think that's how they built the pyramids? Because you saw he levitated there, and there is some theories about that they used levitation to raise the stones on the pyramids.
So what type of levitation? Are we talking telekinesis, or how do they levitate?
They're talking about sound levitation is the conspiracy theory. That the ancients figured out how to harness sound at different frequencies to make objects vibrate so fast that they could lift them. From a physics point of view, because you're a physician.
Who are you talking
physicist.
to that says these things to you?
I didn't talk to anyone. I just watched a few videos.
Okay, you need to
you're a
filter your YouTube.
Can you perhaps teach us how wrong I am?
I mean, I would rather believe that old humans were just chads and just could lift more, because they weren't like super.
Built different.
Yeah, they were just built different. They didn't sit at a PC all the time.
They weren't soy boys like us.
Yeah,
they went out there and lifted rocks and cut rocks.
I mean, that was just their free time. Imagine how much free time you need to have to be like, oh, pyramids. Why not build them?
And you say build them, but like it's 2.2 million stones. That's a lot of stones. And it's not like a fist-sized rock. It's like a boulder. Like, you need to have a lot of free time and a passion for rocks.
I mean, I guess geologists do exist, but yeah, no, I can't explain how. I am not a what are they called? Not a paleo. What are they called? The people that study this?
Archaeologists.
Archaeologists. I'm not an
Egyptologists.
Well, there's pyramids other than the ones in Egypt, right?
Yeah, there is also a study of Egyptology where they study things like the inscriptions and the hieroglyphs and try to figure out where things place on the timeline of pharaohs and regimes and kings.
You gotta realize, Chad, that every single time I went into Virtual's room for 2 weeks straight, it was only this that ran on his PC. This is the only thing he watched.
There are so many documentaries about the pyramids. It's a great monument, and there's a lot of movies about it. What can I say? And I think I learned every theory, Jnic. I think I know about 10 different theories on how they were built.
I mean, I appreciate the dedication that you get into a subject and you really try to grind it out. So, I mean, I also learned something new from all the things you said. I now know about the chambers that they use to lift stones, probably.
There is a lot of chambers, and there is also a lot of unknowns. The great unknown, the great void, as they call it, is a chamber in the pyramid they detected. But enough about the pyramids. I know you're not here for them. I know you're here for Trackmania esports and its excellence, the players, the prodigies. So maybe we should get back to that. We see players practicing the flip here in the pause.
Have you practiced any of these maps?
Not in the way they are playing them here with that ending flip. You can see them going for it and the dangers of it. But I have, of course, tried the maps, and you really get perspective on how difficult it is to survive parkour one time when you play it. You just need one run.
Virtual has promised me offline that once the game goes to a 2 versus 2 format in matchmaking, Virtual and I, we will be playing these maps and showcasing just how good the casters are as well.
I think we should sign up for World Cup, Jnic.
Are we gonna be a regional team?
We can cast ourselves playing it.
That we would call ourselves the casters, and we would caster curse the other team every time.
And now we have the opponent team driving such terrible lines, really standing no chance against Virtual and Jnic's perfection gameplay. Looks like they are struggling here, sweating. They are really not having a great time, Jnic.
I mean,
I think we could caster curse everyone and just take the win.
True. I think that's good.
We just got these powers for free.
I mean, did you get them for free? I had to do a whole ritual with it.
You had to sell your soul.
Yeah, a big triangle pyramid and an eye in the middle of it, and people with ropes on and stuff.
Oh, that's the type of pyramids you're into. I see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have done an amazing job stalling for about 5 minutes. We can get back into the action. This is part of the skill set of being a caster, as we see Gwen with a small mistake. Binks now. No, actually, I think Binks, yeah, indeed, is the one to try to deny. But he has the pace to do so, doesn't he?
He does indeed. Binks has shown us just the 0.2 pace that he's driven multiple times. So he definitely has the pace to get that first place right now. And he needs to do so. Well, he doesn't need to. They're 6-2. But he definitely wants to draw the match if possible. We're heading into the final bobsleigh turn before the identity. All the players, they're so close to each other. We're talking 300ths of a second separating the top 3 players. The final uphill.
He hit the wall on the uphill. He's gone. He respawned. That is an ace possible if they survive these next parkour jumps. Going up on the platform, angling so that the car tilts in the right way. Mime and Alcon will try to equalize the
What is happening? Another round skip right when Into the Breach was supposed to get...
Was that just a warm-up? Did we get baited? It did not have the warm-up text, but... regardless, we are going to assume the players knew that was happening or there would be outrage. We are now, I believe, live.
And now Gwen and Binks are in the lead, looking to get that ace.
They just weren't trying last round.
What?
They just weren't trying last round.
I mean, no. They knew it was warm-up. It wasn't important.
Of course. Gwen and Binks, top 2. On Into the Breach's map choice, and what a statement win it would be if they take this map away from them and go on to one of their better maps. as number 2 Aero Pipes, a new map. We haven't seen them play. We're going into the identity. They are so far ahead, and a respawn to follow from behind will make the odds of victory even greater. But can they survive the jumps, though? Onto this. Whoa! We have a mistake. Gwen will make it, and it looks like Mime will make it as well, but Binks has made his first mistake.
Binks has made his first mistake. This is gonna be a draw. Elkan does get that 3rd place. So, I mean, Binks, unfortunately, with a bigger mistake, might not even make it into the finish. He needs to full respawn, I think, is better.
That does not matter, unfortunately, though, in this format. 4th place is still going to be 4th place, whether you reach the finish line or not. So, it is a draw. Gwen and Binks 7-3. Track point possible with an ace.
Yeah, G1 are looking to close out this first map as soon as possible because of that warm-up.
Do you think G1 caught into the reach by surprise here with their pace? Or do you think
I think they caught everybody
reach,
by surprise with the .2s.
Yeah, or do you think Into the Breach just knew, like, okay, they're fast, but this is our best chance?
I
Like,
think
we
Into
have
the
to
Breach,
use this card immediately.
I think Into the Breach knew that Parkour was an identity that a lot of teams seem to crash on. And Mime, specifically, on day 3 here on the 3rd week, performed incredibly well on Parkour. So they might have relied on that, but Gamers First has shown some incredible pace. Gwen has made a mistake, though.
I wonder if, well, let's first heal around here. Mime in first, Binks in second, an ace near possible here for Elkan if he flips, for instance, as he has a bit of a leeway to Gwen in 4th. Mime gonna hold that 1st place for now. Is the shot gonna be called? Is he gonna go for the flip? Binks looking for something, not gonna go for the flip, but went wide at least into the finish. Mime still in first, 102.3 from the Polish player. A new record for him, and it would have been a league record.
It would.
For G1. Here's my question, Jnic. Do you think G1 intentionally picked Gyroscope late because they knew Into the Breach would prepare for it because they were so dominant, and then they put that card in the back of the deck and said, oh, all your prep, you're gonna need to get to map 6 if you want to use it?
That might be true. I mean,
some mind games,
some incredible mind
through.
games, but these are the things that the players think about, and they don't just think about it on a whim. Usually,
it's like a long week.
Yeah, they have a week to think about. Oh, we have a slide out coming in there from Mime, and now Elkan, he needs to deny here.
It's only 1st place.
He needs
only
to get
first.
the 1st place. If he doesn't get 1st place, Gamers First will get a minimum of 2 points, and that's enough to close down this first map, which is ITB's map pick.
But he loses further ground. What is this pace from Binks? Incredible speed going up into the last couple of checkpoints now. Could again be a new league record here if he keeps this up. Gwen as well.
Oh!
Mistake though. But it's still not enough if Binks gets first. And
What is happening? Everybody left and right making mistakes.
First? No.
Can Elkan...
Gwen is first, I think. Gwen is first. Elkan and Mime are second, third. And it will be a draw, Jnic. We are not done yet.
I mean, that is just something. I mean, and that's what we're talking about. Parkour is an identity that you cannot foresee what will happen.
And just I imagine the shot calling like, oh, I failed. All right, no worries, fam, I got you. Oh, I failed too. And your team will go, oh yeah, no, I got this one. Oh, dude, I failed the 2nd time. I'm so sorry. And then it's just like
and
back
it just
and
keeps
forth.
going.
Oh no, I failed the 7th time. I'm so sorry, bro. We can still win.
And you cannot give up, right?
No, you can't. You gotta keep respawning. It's a cruel identity, but an obstacle that when the players execute it, you know they're playing world class. We are 9-6. Into the Breach need to ace here.
Yeah, they need to find that ace, and Gwen and Binks are not going to let that happen easily. They have shown that they have pace to go into the .2s as they enter the identity. All they need to do is maintain that pace throughout the identity. Elkan with a slightly slower ice slide than the rest of the field. He is looking to pressure.
Seeing a little bit of lags. I'm a bit scared. Let's hope this round remains clean for the players. Gwen in first. Gwen and Binks looking for the win. Double crash.
I think
Gwen
that's the
instantly
lag.
respawning. Mime respawning as well. I cannot imagine they all fail that turn. And let's see what happens as a result.
I am pretty confident that they're going to skip this round.
Unless we'll see Gwen still first. And if the result counts, then G1 here would win the map. But let's first hear from the officials.
Let's first hear from the officials. See, we do see referee getting some lag in there. They might skip the round. Round has been skipped. And ITB get another chance to get that ace down.
Yeah, the identity here is not really difficult enough, so we're adding some new and exciting spontaneous lag mechanics, where the game will teleport you a little bit for a moment to give you just, you know, the players are still too consistent, Jnic. It's really a shame how good the players are. We need them to crash.
Yeah, that's the only reason they crash is because we send micro stutters to their PCs on purpose to make them hit a wall.
But it's equal for everyone. Everyone gets the lag.
Oh, yeah. As casters, we can force it by extra casting one person. What you think is casters cursing is just DDoSing a player.
Okay, let's not DDoSing. But there are some clear server issues here. We can hope that they will be resolved. But Jnic, now that we have some time, how about those pyramids?
No, not this time. I choose the topic.
You choose the topic.
I will
All right,
choose
what do you want
the
to talk
topic.
about?
I want to talk about your favorite map in the TMWT.
My favorite map in Trackmania World Tour. There are a lot to choose from. I personally think the map that leads to the most exciting matches, the most close rounds, clean fights. I think freestyle has a lot of character to it. I think agility dash, with that ending, is very exciting, where you see just heroic saves on the plastic part.
I actually played agility dash against pros as well recently. And what happened, it was in matchmaking, so we have the easy versions of these maps in matchmaking. I played this, I sometimes meet the pros. They go through the map without problems. I sit on the identity for 25 seconds, not coming through it, and I'm just respawning and respawning and respawning. It is so difficult.
Yeah, no, they really make it just look stupidly easy to survive it. And they're playing like the harder versions too, and that's making you have the quote-unquote easy versions.
Yeah, the easy versions, they're the same identity, they just cut it in half, basically. So, for example, the identity here on Parkour, if you play the easy version in the matchmaking section, it is the same identity, but instead of having the long jump into the finish, they cut it off and just put the finish there.
Yeah. I played a map yesterday that someone made, and he put in the author comments that the author time was extremely easy.
Okay.
And it took me half an hour to beat his time.
On what map?
It was just a random Trackmania map. But, like, it reminded me of how, like, oh, these are the easy versions of TMWT maps. It's so easy.
And to be fair, they shouldn't name them easy. They should name them the normal and the pro.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still seeing some lag here in the pause screen.
Yeah, they're just trying to see if they can get rid of it at the moment.
If we can get one clean round through, that could be enough to close the map and reset the server. I think that might be what they're looking to do here as we're updating you. We don't know where this lag came from. It is not us or hopefully anyone wanting the players to suffer these teleports, but hopefully we can have a clean game.
But at least we can talk about some of the interesting parts that we've seen so far on this map. As you can see, the players, they are actually just practicing the identity. We might see some of the players practice the barrel roll in the ending. Hopefully this will not continue in the next matches to come.
So, you see Elkon going for it up front there. I think Gwen is going to try to line it up, but it all depends on how you land here. If you have enough space to go for that. Because if you don't, you're not going to land cleanly. It's just going to be a very bad landing into the finished platform.
I mean, what we can do, though, is we can just quickly do a recap just on voice, talking about the previous two matches. We already had two matches today. We had BDS versus Sinners, which was the team that was undefeated against the team that was only defeated. And Team BDS did take it home 4-0 against Sinners.
I don't think the result does Sinners justice, though. They played pretty well. They took BDS to, I think, 8 points on most maps. And then they unfortunately lost their map. So 4-0 first game. Then KC versus Big was a very interesting affair with KC winning 4-2. We're going to try again here. Do beware. If there are lags, I don't think the result will count, but we're going to...
They will play this map out on this server, and then they're going to switch servers after this map, which means that you need to be ready on the keyboard to also jump into another server here after this map. But for now, we're going to see Into the Breach and Gamers First clutch it out here on a slightly laggy server, which is unfortunate. But that does not matter because all the players, they're still going to give it their all.
They are so far so good. Into the quarter pipe jump. Gwen, low line. They've had a lot of time to warm up now. We could expect faster times than before, but of course, having this break is also going to do you some misfavors, as you're not going to be as ready to compete. We see Alcon in the lead after all is said and done the first couple of turns. The last parts here, though, very close, as we see the lineup for the flip. Is Binks going to go for it? He had the line. He chose not to. Alcon in first, but they only need a draw, and they will get it. Not really a draw, just a loss, but it's still enough.
Just a loss, but still enough to get the point. That's the GG here from map 1. Gamers First are gonna take home Parkour, which was Into the Breach's map choice. We're gonna see Gamers first pick now.
That's a strong start for G1, and even despite the lag, all the rounds here that did count were clean ones. That's something important to recite for the audience. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the early rounds before the pause. These fast times from Binks, just incredible how quick he drove this map. Alcon was keeping up, but it is that difference in mistakes where we see Alcon really trying to push and Binks just remaining ahead.
I mean, talking about these mistakes, like the Parkour map has so many mistakes as showcased here in this clip, where literally everybody made not one but 2 or 3 separate mistakes from every single player in the map.
I think it's so interesting how the maps a team chooses gives them so much character. Mime and Alcon picking the most difficult, least survival rate map as their main weapon, you know, their main Pokemon, essentially, being that map is so fun to me that there's a team that does that, right?
But let's take a preview here of Aero Pipes. Once again, we have seen this map being played once already today. It is a great showcase of some very difficult mechanics, including ice slides, dirt turns, and also the identity that features some jumps between these pipes. That's why it's called Aero Pipes, like just airtime onto pipes. It is incredibly difficult.
Now, before this round starts, I want you to know this is a test round that the admins are doing to make sure the lag issues are not present, and if they are, they will switch the server. So this result that we're seeing is not an ace, it does not count, and the players are aware of it. It's just a warm-up, an extended warm-up.
An extended warm-up that they're going to drive into the finish, and then they're going to do a round skip afterwards.
But take a look at this identity. You have to see it now in person. One of the hardest identities of the World Tour as a whole. Alcon missing the jump before. Mime going for it here. You have to jump onto the first pipe, lining up for that small gap where you can transition to the quarter pipe, then transitioning to the next one, and then a third. Surviving that is hard. Going back to a pause. We'll see what the verdict is.
They're assessing the situation. Does look like nobody got any lag, so hopefully the issues have been resolved, and the players, they will go into the first round in just a few seconds.
Okay, I want to get back to hype here. I'm so excited to see what Gwen and Binks prepared on Aero Pipes. The world record here, 110.4. I think it's important to mention that whenever Gwen is on the server, because he tends to beat those quite quickly. At 110.4 by Pack, by Mime. Mime has a great personal best here, but this is the first time Into the Breach play this map in a match, and the same for G1. So why they picked this map, we will hopefully soon find out.
I mean, Alcon is in the lead now, but he goes for a wide line here on the ice slide. It might cost him a little bit of time. Enters into the reactor boost section wide as well, and indeed it will put him down to 4th place. Binks and Mime now fighting there for the lead. Binks did showcase as a new map record on the previous map, Parkour, so can he do it again here on Aero Pipes?
Into the downhill, transition up on the road, insta drift to the left to carry speed for the dirt. Binks fighting Mime for first. Gwen catching up to Alcon for that 3rd place. The last turn before the identity. Wide setup for Gwen here to get a lot of speed into that transition, but he misses the timing. Binks in first ahead of Mime. The first pipe jump starts. We go into the one. He gets it. Second one as well. Low jump there. More speed for Mime now. Binks still ahead and gonna keep that lead. 110.7 to start us off. A solid time, but I think all these players are capable of much more.
I mean, they are capable of much more. 110 mid is what we want to see from the players. That's what we saw from Konadi and Masa as well last time we had this map. But with that being said, we have a round skip.
Gwen said he had a bug at the start, so I think that
might be the cue to change the servers.
I think we're gonna hop back here. The battle of the prodigies is turning into a unfortunate situation here, but I think they're gonna do everything they can to fix it. Twitch server, etc., and hopefully we can have a clean race, because the players here are so good that the server should not be the thing holding them back.
they deserve to have the cleanest version of the game possible. Once in a while, we do have internet issues. Also, this is probably server issues. So, want to make it fair for everybody. Want to make sure that they get it. They're currently, once again, trying to drive a little bit. They'll try to see if they can fix it, but most likely, we're going to have to jump into another server.
That is the situation. Now, the pace they showed was incredible. I also am looking forward to the game after this, if we get that underway. Alliance and Solary. Solary, Pack has had amazing individual performances. Carl as well. People have been like sleeping on Carl a little bit. Oh, Carl is kind of slow this season. He's playing his part, right?
He is. He's playing. You can almost say that Carl is the one playing the supporting role this season, but he also has said on Twitter, if you guys can follow all the pro players on Twitter, including the casters, if that's what you want to do. But Carl did mention on Twitter that he disagrees with the fact that he's able to go full-time into the esport as of yet, as he can't justify it with other work and also studies. So he might not put in that much training.
He's a fully graduated engineer. He has a master's degree in engineering.
Then it has to be his work, because he says that he's not necessarily comfortable going full time in the esport at the moment, which could be for a variety of reasons. But that just means that he might be putting in less practice time, but still performing better than at least half the players.
Yeah, and that's really been the I think annoying thing to compete against players like Pack and Carl, where you will have players that prepare for a tournament for weeks, right? And then Carl and Pack play a map for 2 hours, and they already have it so ingrained in their hands and in their brain, muscle memory. They just feel what's fast after playing for so long. It is
incredible how fast some of these players, they can pick up different maps, different styles, just because of all of the experience that they have from all the previous years of their gameplay.
Yeah, if you think about playing Trackmania for 10,000, 20,000 hours, I don't know, but there's stories of Carl Jr. when he was a teenager running home from school. He would not walk, he would run so he could play more Trackmania. So he would just enter his door out of breath, just get on the Trackmania, let's go.
Everybody does that,
that's
right?
Dedication. That's dedication to the game, and that's how you become a pro. Optimize your life to play as much TM as possible. And Gwen, right? People say, oh, he's so young, he has so much time. There are videos of Gwen playing Trackmania at 4 years old, where he's doing advanced mechanics, like canceling an auto slide, if that says you anything.
Yeah.
Amazing, right? He's been playing since he was 4. He's 18 now. He literally has grown up with Trackmania in his brain.
But with that being said, we have changed the servers. We have gotten into another match here, and the players are going to start once again.
They are. So the score is being reset to map 2. G1 still win map 1. And the first round from map 2 counts. That was a draw. So we are going to have 1-1 on Aero Pipes as the scoreline.
Yes. And I think they're just going to start on map 2. And we're not going to be able to see the updated score. I don't know if they can do that visually. But we just have to remember that G1 do have 1 map victory.
Maybe production can be so kind as to just draw in MS Paint, fill out the square.
Oh yeah, that will work.
We'll see what...
Or you at home can put a sticker on it.
Yeah, indeed. You can just, draw with a marker on your screen. Is that what you're saying?
On your screens or televisions, just, yeah. That sounds great.
That does
great
sound
advice.
Amazing advice here from the casters. We are both amazing at art. Oh, we do have it updated. Never mind.
Oh!
We got it sorted, and we are live. I saw a mistake in the start. Now we are live.
Okay.
I just want to have a clean round.
It is difficult. Okay, so the game is on pause again. I think they're going to have to check it out. Unfortunately, the casters in the booth have literally nothing to do about this and can't do anything about it. So we're just going to have to fill the dead air with some amazing talk and just chatting.
What's your favorite Twitch emote?
Oh my god, what's my favorite Twitch emote? Probably... Oh, that's so difficult. I like the one. I don't know if you have that.
I think I have that one, yes. Indeed. It's a good emote. It's a pretty good emote. I also like Pep OG in the same standard. Like when we're explaining something difficult and chat goes like, oh, draw on my screen, Pep OG.
That's cute. That is cute. I like the cute emotes.
Yeah, no, it's cute. I think that one is pretty good. I also think,
Oh, the players are saying they're ready once again, so we might start it off. Let us have some pray in chat, whichever pray emote that you enjoy, to see if these servers, they can get up and running.
Parade. Let's see it. Are we live for the final time? I think we are. The match is underway. And now I will caster bless this game with no further lags. And we will have a clean show for the rest of the evening. I'm using my powers, Jnic.
Okay. If you're using your powers to bless the servers, I will use my powers to cast the match. Here we have Gwen in the lead. Binks is on a third place on this supportive position. They're looking to get this ace because we already have a mistake from Mime. Elcon is now put on the task to see if he can deny the ace coming in from Gamers First.
And it is Mime from the Into the Breach players that has the best personal best on this. A 1:10.3. Actually close to the world record on the track as far as we know. But Gwen and Binks, they've shown so fast runs on every other map that surely their first pick into this game, Aero Pipes, has to be one they are just as quick at. Elcon keeping up with Binks, actually staying ahead, but here Binks gets more speed, and that is going to transfer all the way onto the identity. He's just going to extend his lead. Can he survive the jumps, though? Jumps very far on the right side, barely lands that first pipe, landing on the second one clean, transitioning down, but he loses speed. Ooh. He loses the grip, and Elcon wins that 1v1. And with Mime passing Gwen, it's actually Into the Breach that go into the lead.
It is indeed Into the Breach that gets that lead, and they're also going to get the lead in the match. 3-2, not a big of a lead, but that does not matter. Anything is better than nothing. Getting into round 3.
Let's see what more we can have happen on this map. Into the Breach. Strong start there, despite the mistake from Mime. He crashed here in this wall slide where you want to just hug the wall in the plastic. It's the fastest way to pass the ice. Ooh, Binks and Gwen, awkward ice slides. Red team up into first and second. Elcon, great round last time. He had that consistency we were looking for. Beating Binks in the ending definitely has cleaned up some parts of his play. But now Binks has to really push it. He has to get back up there. An ace here in a 5-2 scoreline is not something they were looking for when they chose this map. Binks getting closer, but Mime and Elcon so consistently holding that pace. Going onto the pipes, surely one of them will make it, but Binks more speed once again, getting this slide really well. He's going to catch up, and they're going to be close to equal onto the first pipe jump. A little bit more on the right side. Passes one. Elcon with a mistake. Bit low, but Mime goes a bit high. Is he going to line up for the third? Mime gets the last one, and he will survive a draw.
I mean, a draw isn't too bad. Gamers First are still gonna be behind, but they, like, at least as long as you don't, you know, extend your deficit, I guess you can say that, then I think they're happy. A 3-4 is okay. It's still anybody's game.
It is, but there, the mistake from Elcon, where perhaps a win would be possible. It's hard to say. Every round, of course, you just have to try your best to get to the finish cleanly.
Do remember that this is Gamers First map pick. It's their first pick, so you could say it's their map of choice. And, you know, as of right now, they are actually behind in score, but that does not matter because Binks goes for a super tight line right here, trying to overtake the rest of the field, and he does get it. Gwen with a slight mistake, and now Binks is tasked to see if he can get another draw.
We will see it. Mime definitely in a spot where he's just going to push all in. It looks like it's 0.5 on the splits, but I think it's more. Or actually, Gwen has held that gap pretty well, not letting it transfer into a bigger and bigger deficit. Elcon in the lead. Binks reaching right now for first place.
Mime made a mistake, and Gwen will now overtake, and now it looks like they're gonna end in a draw, but we have Binks and Elcon fighting for that first place. Elcon, once again, also with a mistake, and Binks is now in the lead. Can he maintain that lead? No, Elcon gets a better landing. Binks with the mistake also. Now Elcon is in the lead. Gwen is holding down the fort for the second place, and it's gonna be another draw, Virtual.
It is a draw. Elcon fast here, 1:10.6. Some of the fastest match times we've seen today, right at that benchmark. So he gets there. Elcon getting points for his team. And it's actually Mime on this map that has made the most mistakes so far.
That is uncharacteristic from Mime. Mime usually has great pace and great consistency, but Aero Pipes is a difficult map, and we've seen pretty much everybody except Pack make any major mistakes on this map.
And if you think back to how surprised we were at this pick, imagine the players. I don't think Into the Breach expected Gwen and Binks to start us on Aero Pipes. It's a very wild track to go for as the first one. And they might just be like wondering what is even happening here. The pace we've seen from Gamers First has not been enough to justify this choice yet, but they have been surviving the pipe jumps rather consistently with some slower landings. Now Gwen not making a mistake in the start, not losing that half a second. We can see what he can do in this field. But again, Into the Breach are ready for this. They are actually looking like the strongest team by far.
You could also argue maybe Gamers First was thinking the same thing you're thinking. Maybe they were trying to take Into the Breach, you know, by surprise and picking a map like this. But it does look like ITB, they were prepared for it. Mime is now in the lead. He just needs to not crash the ending. Elcon is right behind. Elcon has seemed to be okay consistent here, and Gwen is in last place. It is going to be down to these final jumps. Are they all going to make it? First jump down, we have 2 mistakes coming in. Second jump, Gwen is now on second place. Elcon will maintain that lead, but it's going to be Elcon, Gwen, Mime, and Binks.
Elcon with a 110.4, 1/10 behind the current known world record from Mime. Amazing time there, nice times in the chat from the players. Elcon really finding his rhythm here and carrying Into the Breach as it stands to track point. A ace here, getting them 3 points, would reach the 10.
It would indeed, and it would be crucial for Into the Breach to gain this second map victory, as it is on Gamers' first map choice. They lost their own.
They did, and what a comeback it would be after that Parkour loss. We'll see if they can do it. Binks with a good eyesight, but they really lose so much in the start here, G1. Their identities have been somewhat okay, but it is in these parts right here where Into the Breach find the time gains, and the reason is maybe in part due to these low lines right here. But now, look at Binks. He's managed to match them and even overtake both into the uphill slide. Can he get good speed? Look at Gwen here, trying to get so much speed into this dirt downhill. And he will get the payoff right here onto the soft spot, catching it back up to Mime. The last drift here, building speed for the identity. It looks like Binks will have first, and Gwen is going to roll up towards second place, but so is Elcon. Faster than Binks. It's going to be an equal 3-player battle on the pipes. Elcon still first after 2 jumps. The third one, Mime coming in as well. Could look for the ace, and they're going to get it. They took the ace and won the map right that. Snubbed it away from G1.
What a great showcase coming in from Into the Breach, getting the ace in the ending, getting the map victory, and equalizing the score.
Just a fantastic round there. Mime so much speed on the pipes. It looked like G1 were the fastest team there on the pipes, but they won their map pick. It's 1-1.
It is now 1-1 indeed, and we're gonna go into the next map, Reps.
We are, but first, these amazing highlights here. Elcon really showing up strong on Aero Pipes. The surprise pick from G1, I think he was the star of the show, winning so many rounds consistently, and really a different Elcon from week 3. We have to commend Elcon for the performance he's showing here. It's his first season.
Yeah,
he's doing amazing.
It's great to see him perform a lot better today than he did last week, and I'm glad that he's able to showcase that he's practiced here in the last 7 days as we head into Reps. Once again, this is a pretty consistent map all the way to the ending where we have some very, very tight beams that the players have to jump on.
Yeah, stylistically, I think these teams play the map quite similarly. We've seen so many teams face off on this. Do you go for the outside dirt line or don't you? I think we're going to see all 4 players attempt it here, where you line up wide here and try to carry speed on the outside to build speed for this uphill. We saw 3 players execute it. Gwen, the only player not getting it, though he was trying to get his car up there. But it's Binks ahead of Elcon and Mime, and we're going to see fast times. Mime and Elcon are able to drive mid 106.5, and Gwen and Binks have done the same in their games on it. So let's see which team comes out ahead. In round 1, this was chosen by Into the Breach.
It was, but it's worth mentioning that Binks does have the best average time on this map, and he does showcase it here. He is on first place. He's trying to maintain it. Elcon trying with the overtake. Binks does make a small mistake, and Elcon is able to get that first place. Mime on the second, and they're gonna get that ace.
Mid 106 from Elcon, 106.6. Beautiful time, and we do see G1 slip up a little bit here. This is how they lost their game to BDS. Such a close affair last week where they had a dominant lead, I believe, on this map, and then BDS came back with a few clutch aces in moments where G1 made mistakes, and here we're seeing an ace to start. They have to stop that bleeding, cannot afford another ace against them back to back.
They can't.
Oh, but a mistake right away. Gwen crashing at least before the fragile, whereas mine crashed after the fragile, and he is going to lose a lot of time throughout the track. His car is still with the fragile effect, and that is not going to be possible to drive too far with. So Binks and Gwen have a good chance for a win here.
They do indeed, and Elcon is trying to deny that map or that round victory, trying to get that first place, but because he's doing so, he also has a chance to make a mistake in the end, and Binks trying to maintain first place. Gwen trying to maintain third. It does look like they're able to. Mime is about a second behind, so Elcon is being told there by his teammate to see if he can just try to get that draw, try to clutch it out in the ending right now. Binks is in a heavy lead. Gwen is right behind. Elcon is looking for a small mistake. Is it gonna be happening? No, everybody gets...
Oh, he did!
No, Elcon hits the finish pole.
Elcon missed the finish, and Gwen missed the finish. They went for the safe finish, and they still got the ace.
See, the thing about this, we've talked about this, and why players tend to miss on the right side instead of the left side. If you miss on the left side, you have the possibility of hitting that finish pole.
The face plant.
If you face plant,
it's so slow. That's why they'd rather miss on the right side if they're gonna miss it and get the safe finish behind. But here, Gamers first ace right back.
And they ace right back. It's 3-3 now. And, I mean, that's just an unfortunate situation coming in from Elcon.
It really is. The round started out with a big mistake. Just skipping the reset and getting that fragile is so costly for the entire map. They still made their best of it as Gwen into the wall early on. That's going to be called out. Binks now knows what he has to do. A mid 106 to fend off the two fast players on the other squad. Gonna try to go low with this reactor into the checkpoint. Less speed, but at least a quick inside approach. You can see Elcon there extending more speed out of the loop. Gonna get about 300ths closer. Not a lot to gain in these segments. It is the last jumps to the side at Elcon. Can he catch up to Binks? Binks, who have the best average out of all these players on the map, onto the last beam, sliding onto it, getting the speed necessary to hold the lead and get the finish. Elcon almost overjumping, but what a time, Jnic. 106.438. That is, I think, a tied league world record. It is exactly tied with Mutta.
That's crazy. It is, that is an insane time. You love to see it. And we have seen Binks just drive pace also on the last couple of maps that are just incredibly difficult to beat.
Out of 3 maps played, Binks just set 2 league records today.
That is a good showing coming in from Binks, absolutely. But it's also going to be a draw, so that means that the teams are still going to be equalized 4-4.
Yeah, that is the negative side of it. You work so hard, set the fastest time anyone's driven in a match, and it's like, oh, draw.
Still a draw, it is what it is, and it also looks to be a draw right now. Gwen has made a mistake. Binks, once again, needs to maintain this lead to see if he can...
But I feel like Binks, after watching him for a bit, is a player that really feeds off of good momentum. When he is driving fast, like he was in Arctic Gaming Experience, he was able to chain together round after round with incredible times. That's how he did 102.2 back-to-back on
But is
Parkour.
he gonna do it right now?
Is he gonna get it on the beams to deny into the breach once again? Mime failed. It could be a win for them, but now Elcon is up into first to the
No! Again, Elcon hitting the finish. That is so unfortunate coming in from Elcon. He will have to respawn, and it's gonna be a ace coming in from Gamers First.
Really struggling with that ending. It's the second time that happens here. Binks and Gwen get the ace, and Elcon was so fast there. He was on a 0.6, 0.4 maybe, 0.5 maybe, with the lead he had over Binks, but not enough if he missed the finish.
Now G1 gets that track point. Means that they can close it out if they get an ace. That's what they're looking for. If they can get back-to-back aces, that would be incredible. Into the breach.
Oh,
try to deny.
mistake. Gwen, I think, hit the wall again. Gwen not having the best showing here on reps. A lot of mistakes, and he needs Binks to keep this pressure up. Binks playing wonderful match here and looking to carry that momentum, but a lot of mistakes from Gwen, who hasn't really found the rhythm. Can he do it for the third time in a row? He does have a breaking point too, Binks. He's not invincible, and Into the Breach know it. They put him under enough pressure enough times, maybe they can find an opening where Binks is the one to make a mistake, but they're getting closer.
And Gwen is far enough behind for them not to have to worry about it. So they're just gonna, they can respawn and be fine. So they're just gonna full send the ending. But is Elcon getting in his own head with twice the mistakes in the ending? Is he gonna do it again? It's gonna be Elcon trying to go for first place right beside Binks. Binks getting a little bit more exit speed. Who's gonna get the ending? Binks does secure the draw.
Surgical with it, so precise on that lineup. He doesn't go for the clip on the right side, doesn't go too far left. He just stays perfectly on the beam in the middle.
And that was clutch, because that's what made him get that first place. You don't slow down if you don't clip the beam. That's what he avoided doing. He also got a little bit of a faster drift into the second beam, and that's the dangerous part, because you have so little space to work with.
But Elcon also had a nice strategy. A very late air brake on the first jump gave him an earlier landing. He actually gained speed there. So there are some small details that Into the Breach have in their favor as whoa, 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 whoa. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like you're going for a drift, you can tell it's gonna fail in 2 seconds and you still just full speed?
Yep.
That was the feeling I had watching Gwen there, and he's still committed, and it's barely.
But I like what you said earlier, the phrase, he was playing with the pixels. And, I mean, he definitely knew
that it was going to be close.
He knew this might fail, but I have to go for this.
And it pays off. That's a 10th gain with that risk in the first drift. And there's not a lot of places you can gain a 10th on this map. The players are so damn good at the game. They're so level on the playing field that you can see them all within 0.2 of a second here as we go into the identity once again. A win here, a normal victory for G1 will give them the map. Can they do it in the identity? A backflip from Into the Breach, but one player missing. Binks will get that finish once again. Will Gwen be third? He gets it, and they take map 3.
I mean, they did see that Elcon was far enough behind for them to just full risk once again, but that was pretty close. And Gamers First will take that second map for themselves, or the third map, or the second map that they won.
Yeah, it was Into the Breach map, and it started with Into the Breach getting that ace in round 1. And we thought they cannot let this momentum continue that way. And luckily for G1, they were able to ace right back, start some momentum. Looks like we have the replay here. The first ace doesn't look like a situation where it's gonna happen, but Gwen with a mistake and Binks with a mistake made it possible for Into the Breach.
Yeah, you see. And it happens a lot. We also saw mistakes from Into the Breach here as we take a look at Elcon. Unfortunately, full face planting there on the finish. We're going to see it in just a second. It is so unfortunate. It happens if you jump just a little bit too far to the left.
Oh, we got baited. The match is starting, and we'd rather probably catch the action live. These highlights, they're going to be on Trackmania Grand League's YouTube. You can check that out if you haven't. But back in fourth, the third map, actually, and is it the third? No, it's the fourth. The fourth map in the match, picked by Gamers First. Why do you think they chose this? Their average, right around a 58 mid, and their peak, 58 low.
I mean, I think they chose it due to the consistency that the map can have, and I think a consistent map is, Gwen with a mistake, as I say, consistency, and another mistake coming in from Mime. Gwen might actually be able to come up to third place. Binks is in the lead. Elcon will try to deny this victory point here for Gamers First, but Binks is in a healthy position right now. Elcon needs to pressure quite a lot if he needs to make it there, or actually Binks needs to make a mistake. It does not look like it's gonna happen. Elcon with a nice tight line in the ending. Not quite enough. A 58 low from Binks is a very respectable time.
Binks is on fire today. It looks like every map, except for a little bit of slump on Aero Pipes, a little bit of a slump. Yeah. He is doing amazing across the board. These times are fantastic.
They are indeed great times from Gamers First. Binks, he is showcasing, what did we say so far? 2 out of 4 maps where he showcased literal records on it. So definitely
he drove a 57.97 here last week, but his average is still at 59.1. Like, the mistakes have gotten the better of Binks for the most part on this map, and the same can be said for Gwen. 58.1 as his fastest, but high 58s for the average. So They need to really clean that act up, and we see Mime and Elcon trying their best to keep up, but their personal bests are slightly slower. Mime 58.1 and a mistake there, and Elcon 58.4. So about a 3 to 4 tenth gap in terms of peak pace. And we need to see the consistency. The two G1 players looking for the ace right now. 2 to 1 can make it 5 to 1. Elcon gonna try, but not gonna get there. It looks like 57 for Gwen.
And already a 5 to... Yeah, 57 is great, by the way. Gwen also showcasing that not only his teammate can drive incredibly fast times. 5 to 1 is a great showcase, and if I'm not mistaken, as you said, this is G1's map pick, so maybe they can make quick work of it. Last time we saw back and forth. Today was also quick work. It was a 10 to 2.
Yeah, that was BDS, the best team in the league on this map. Elcon going flying where you want. Ground contact, unfortunate there. And Mime is able to keep up with the others, but we know Binks and Gwen have such strong peak pace here. Gwen looks like with this lead, he can basically save into a first place, and he's gonna ask Binks here with a 7-second gap to Elcon. He's gonna ask Binks to risk for this ace.
Oh, and we have a mistake. Mime must see this. The second he goes through this checkpoint, he notices he's about a second ahead of Binks, so he can afford to go a little bit slower.
Gwen!
No, he's on first place right now. Mime just needs to secure this for the draw. This is super important. Mime, is he gonna be able to get into the finish without a mistake? He is, and Binks and Gwen are gonna take this draw, and it's gonna be 6 to 2.
Jnic, wasn't Gwen half a second ahead of Mime's 58.3? I think it was legitimately like minus 0.5 of that. He was on some 57.8, 57.7.
Wow. That might be why he made the mistake. He was going for a record.
For a world record.
Yeah.
Gwen was literally like, bro, I know that we're in match, but listen, I'm on a banger. Let me just...
I'm gonna risk it. And teammate is like, no, you're so far ahead. And he's like, I gotta do this, man. I gotta do this.
Dommage. Gwen missing world record live, but we will get more chances to see him shine here. Always fun to see how fast Gwen is daring to push in a match. Also going over the snow there to actually get a better setup for that nose slide. Very inside of whoa.
Okay,
everyone is crashing. Everyone is crashing, it looks like. I think Binks got the best of that. Gwen made a mistake. Mime and Elcon are both making a mistake. And is it Binks this time is going to push for the record, you think? Or are we going to save it?
Maybe. I mean, he might do it just to say to his teammate, look, I can also try to full risk the ending, even though we should be saving it.
It's not going to be as fast, unfortunately, but it is looking like it is going to be the ace for G1, their own map choice. They are looking very strong here.
Yeah, so about a second slower than a 57, right? But still recognizing when you can go slow, when you can go fast, when you're supposed to risk, when you're supposed to save, is the defining difference between great players and pro players.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you're pro, if you find a round where you're on world record, hey,
I mean,
hey, one round.
I mean, they might feel pretty secure on their own map pick here. Like, back and forth is a very... I mean, as far as we've seen right now, it's a very... What is it called when you either love it or hate it?
It's mixed feelings. Love-hate relationship.
There might be some ambivalent...
ambivalent. Ambivalence?
Yeah, no. Okay, casters in the booth do not know how to speak English. As we see Gamers First once again looking to get that ace.
Oh, Gwen had to release the ace, losing its potential, but Elcon is only about a tenth ahead of Gwen before the identity, and Gwen going for low speed, trying to land early here to get that ace. They only actually need a win here. Binks is on pace to secure that. Gwen trying to just hold second, even though it does not really matter because Binks getting that first place. 57-80. Securing the win. You gotta watch out for G1's pace.
Binks is going so fast today. It is incredible to see his pace on these different maps.
That's the third league record out of 4 maps he played today.
Okay, so, I mean...
And it's funny because, like, we talked about G1 and we talked about, okay, Gwen has the pace and Binks' role is kind of to play this, like, a little bit safer role, secure second and third places, and just let Gwen go all in. Look at this dynamic. They're both driving incredible rounds, and Binks is getting the records.
And we did also, like... most of you guys, a lot of you guys might have BDS as your top team. They're undefeated, 4 games in a row, also won against G1, but let's just take a second to appreciate how close that game was. And on paper, G1 actually drove better times. It's because of the unfortunate timings of their mistakes that they lost, not because they weren't playing better.
They were 1 point away at one point from beating VDS. Like, G1 are looking like a top team right now.
They are really looking like a top team.
The scoreline is not reflected with their losses against Alliance and BDS, but you got to watch out for this team in playoffs.
Oh yeah,
if they reach playoffs, they are going to be incredible.
This team is going to playoffs, and they're going to be a real contender to go into the grand finals.
We'll see if they can match Into the Breach on Agility Dash. This is one of Into the Breach's best maps, picked here as their 3rd choice, I believe. But it is an Into the Breach special. They were able to match BDS on this with good pace. Mime, 128.5 is the time he drove, and averaged 129.1. Very good consistency.
G1 and Into the Breach going for this little trick where you hit the scenery of the map to set yourself up for a better left-handed drift. All of the players executed that quite well, and now we see all of the players within 0.2 of a second of each other as we head into the final part of the map.
Let's see, onto the knife's edge soon enough. First 2 drifts, though, and we will see Gwen and Binks go up into 1st and 2nd in this section. Mime and Alcon looking to keep up. This is their map choice. This is where they have to do it. They cannot lose this map, but look at Binks and Gwen, and look at the lead they're building. 0.2 before the Agility Dash. This is the hardest identity that we've seen yet. Going onto the plastic, they're going to go full speed. Mime pushing, nothing to lose, trying to catch up to the 2 Frenchmen, but they are side by side. Perfect lines, 128.6 and 7. Every player in the lobby drove 128. You can't get 4th with a 128.9. It doesn't happen.
I mean, I'm not quite sure what to say. These paces are incredible. And Gwen and Binks, I mean, they just have insane consistency at the moment.
You should never get 4th place with a 128.9. This is an absurdly fast match. We're seeing Into the Breach play their best maps, like Reps, like Agility Dash, like Parkour, and somehow G1 are driving even faster. That's the scary part about this team right now.
Currently, 128.55.
Gwen to sideways. Gwen is going to get a slowdown. He is losing there, and that means Into the Breach could get an ace now. 2 tenths ahead before that full speed part.
Yeah, here we have Into the Breach on a great position to ace them right back. All they need to do is maintain this lead. They're 0.7, about 0.7 ahead, 0.6, 0.7, and they know this. They're communicating this to each other, but we've talked about this. Sometimes the hardest goal to score is the one without a goalkeeper. They need to just keep the pace, stay focused, and not miss the finish.
I think the fact that Gwen is that close makes it more likely that they're gonna survive. If Gwen was too far, they would be laughing about it. Oh, we're 6 seconds ahead. Oh, life's good. Sure, isn't it? They know they still have a job to do here. Gwen is just lying in wait for one mistake, one opportunity. It's too much to catch in just pure driving. But if Alcon and Mime miss, if Mime hits a checkpoint, if Alcon now misses the jumps, Gwen is going to flip this round on its head. He just needs one small error. Alcon, you have to be perfect on these final parts, or Gwen will take it away from you. But he remains ahead. And that time, that was 4th place last round, is now a win.
It is, but we did see mistakes from pretty much everyone else. And Gwen, to be fair, let's, in Gwen's defense, he was 0.6, almost 0.7 behind, and he did manage to inch up very, very close to that 1st place and like a low 29.
And the interesting thing I think here is, if I'm looking at the stats, Mime out of 19 rounds played, he has won 7 rounds, but he has also crashed 6 rounds. It's really either like win or crash, and the same for Alcon. Like 4 wins, 8 crashes. You know, they're really just setting it for the win or they crash.
Yup, and here we have the sideways jump once again. They do this to land earlier and start accelerating as fast as possible. This is great. He landed super early, got the 5th gear incredibly early, able to just speed slide all the way there on the plastic.
Gained 2 tenths there on everyone else, and now an inside line. This could be a very fast run from Gwen. Binks has had the spotlight, but Gwen wants a part of it. Great checkpoint so far. These are world record pace, and the track record on this is actually by Gwen. 128.5. Mime getting closer as Mime gets 1st place. Gwen hitting that checkpoint a little bit, dropping into 4th place. Alcon and Mime, new opportunity now in 1st and 2nd before the knife edge transitions. Good speed there for Binks to catch back up through the checkpoint. Mime and Elkan going to jump across the penalty grass, getting a bit closer. Binks still in first, though. We will see who wins in the agility dash. Binks flying off after the checkpoint, caught in a respawn trap. Elkan making a mistake, quick to recover it, but it is the ace for Into the Breach. They're back in the lead.
Oh my god, Bing's car just went full Elon Musk and flew into space there. That was an unfortunate little clip. But it happened.
The mission to Mars got shortcut by 7 years. Went on the 5th of February.
But incredibly important ace coming in from Team ITB. Those 3 points will pull them up in the lead, and they will try to see if they can manage to save this all the way to the ending. But I believe that they know the reason they got that map victory, that ace, is because of mistakes from Gamers First, and they can't just rely on mistakes every round.
No, they know that Gamers First, the second they don't crash, it's going to be 28-6, 28-7. That's the pace. And Into the Breach have to be ready to drive that themselves. All across the diagonal jump, and now once again, Gwen leaving that back wheel near the wall, and look at the exit speed here. Mime able to follow. This is very impressive from Mime, taking that first place away from Gwen, who does that part so well. Elkan and Binks cannot keep up here in the start. Now we have the speed slide. Looking for the overlap. Elkan, one of the best full speed players in the world. 637 with an inside approach is amazing for Elkan, who gets a bit closer, reduces that gap up to first, but Mime is currently again on that world record pace before the ending.
As we head into the final drift before this knife's edge, where they have to try to get as low airtime as possible, jumping from one side to the other. Mime executing it well. Gwen also. It's got to be Mime or Gwen to see if they can get that first place. Gwen getting a little more speed than Mime with a mistake, and Binks trying to overtake Elkan. Now Elkan needs to do this cleanly to make sure that Gamers First don't get the ace, but Gwen will maintain the lead. Binks coming in third, and that's going to be victory points here for Gamers First.
128.7 from Gwen, and Mime was about 2 tenths ahead of that again. That was a really good run from Mime, but one quick mistake. After 1 minute and 20 seconds of driving, like it's almost 1.5 length of another map. It's such a long track agility dash that if you don't play clean in the 87th second, it's all for nothing.
And if I remember correctly, I'm not 100% sure, but even if ITB win this match, map 6 was gyroscope, which is just 10 times scarier than this map.
I think if they get to gyroscope, they have prepared for it. It is the clearest option. Like, either you need to go into this match thinking we're banning gyroscope and we're not facing it, or they're thinking we have to do something here to prepare for it. Because Gwen and Binks on gyroscope is a treat to watch, but look at Mime and Elkan right now, building the pressure, getting the speed into the full speed part, and we will see the inside approach speed slide. Lower speed from Binks and Gwen. I think Elkan will get a bit closer, but all 4 players have gotten through the first 50 seconds without any mistakes whatsoever. Who's going to win it out in the tech part? Gwen, better speed on that first slide. The second one, wide setup for Elkan, losing a little bit of ground. Mime on the inside approach, getting closer. This is going back and forth, but Gwen is leading the charge before the identity. Elkan, small mistake. That's going to be called. Mime needs to win this. Cannot allow an ace in G1's favor. First couple of jumps, all clean. He's getting closer to Gwen. He has more speed. Can Mime take this one away? It's a car length away, and he cannot. But great times once again.
Great times coming in from the players, and Gamers First are putting themselves on an 8-7 head ahead of Into the Breach, and they're looking to close out this entire match 4-1.
Match point now. A normal victory gets them there. Just think about it though. 1.5 minutes of driving, 600ths of a second is what Mime is missing there. It is so close this game. Gwen. We have a mistake. Gwen in last now.
And now it is Binks that needs to make sure that Into the Breach don't get an ace, because once again, remember that an ace is 3 points, and that's all Into the Breach needs to get this map victory down. It is all on Binks.
This is Binks' big match. He's had so many world records, but world records are one thing, but winning the maps is more important, and they might not win this one. It's looking like an ace is more than possible for Into the Breach on Agility Dash. the consistency is what's going to pay off.
It is not over yet because Gwen is only half a second behind. That sounds like a lot, but one small mistake in the ending is enough for Gwen to come back, and he knows this. He's not giving up yet.
It's 0.3.
He is gaining slowly towards the other players here, but Elcon and Mime, they know they have to risk the ending. They cannot afford this. Mime also lost even more speed. Gwen is pushing every single thing he has. He's getting close. He's now neck and neck with Mime. Elcon and Mime, they need to keep this. Gwen overtaking one. Is he gonna overtake another? He overtakes Elcon. He's now neck and neck for first place. Is he gonna get it home? Elcon maintains the lead, clutching it out.
How does Gwen get back there? He was half a second behind. He gets the call. Oh, bro, you gotta risk it. He sends it. Gets so much back against Elcon and Mime there and denies the win for Into the Breach. That's heroics.
That is incredible. He went all the way up. He got ahead of Elcon at one point.
The speed he had entering that identity, I don't know how you can possibly control that, but he adapts so well to the line he was given. But 9-9 now.
What an incredible clutch coming in from Binks. And now it's now 9-9. As you said, it is looking to be, this is basically overtime. The first team that gets the most points here will get the map victory. If it's gamers first, they get the match as well.
That is what's at stake. Can Into the Breach bring it to a gyroscope and try to take down G1 on their best map yet? Statistically, we will see Elcon right now up near first, but Mime a little bit behind. Good speed here for Mime though, and the low jump as well. Good gear change, but the others are getting it just as well, and the gap remains the same into the drift. Binks did not fail it this time. Keeps up with Elcon up in first. Elcon needs a great speed slide here, maybe looking to extend a little bit in his best part. He's gonna have more speed than the others and get that 10th of a lead against them, but that is not a lot before you go into tech slides where Gwen and Binks are so good. Mime as well getting closer. This match is resting on a knife's edge. It could go either way as we enter that specific part of transitions between the platforms. Last we saw Gwen get so much speed here and close the gap. Here Elcon remains in first. Is it going to be him to deny G1 this round? They certainly have the best position. Mime has crashed. Gwen with a lot of speed. Once again, these two will duke it out in the identity, and this time Gwen is going to get away with a bit of a lead before the last couple of jumps. Gwen into the last turn finish. He gets it. 128.49. A new league record for Gwen this time, who shares the spotlight with Binks, and they win the game.
What an incredible matchup. That was such a great map coming in here from Team Gamers First. ITV gave it everything they got, but G1 did clutch it out in the ending. As we're gonna see on some of these replays here, we have an insane round coming in from G1, getting an ace side by side.
It is literally insane how well G1 played this game. The first ace, both players driving 128.7. That matches personal best of other players, and they did this several times over. Gwen got several 0.7s.
I mean, that's just insane. Here we have ITB with...
this is the Binks Airlines, is it not? Oh,
Binks
God.
Airlines.
So we see he went a little bit wrong in the approach here and just boom, out of the frame. Unfortunate there, and that was the ace that really put Into the Breach in the driving seat of this map.
Yeah, they almost came all the way back, starting from that ace, but then Gwen shows the insane comeback that he's capable of doing here in the ending, where he gets just an immense amount of speed.
It shouldn't have been possible, and he almost had Elcon here too, but Elcon, beautiful lines, drove the exact same pace as Gwen in the last sector, and denied the win that they could have had there.
I mean, that was an impeccable match by both teams.
We also have that world record replay for the roll. Look at Gwen here. I mean, Elcon was even far ahead of that, so there's certainly some more possible here. But G1, looking back at this game, they took 4 out of the 5 league records on maps they played.
They were incredible.
How fast are they?
Like, Binks has shown some pace that I cannot believe that he has that pace. It's just, this is what the other teams are going to look for, and they're really going to try to deny Binks some of these maps that he just showed that he has insane pace on. But apparently it doesn't matter if it's his map pick or another person's map pick. He will just get that record anyway.
He will indeed. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we have the match of the day, Alliance versus Solary. Mudda and Soldier versus Carl Jr. and Pack. That is going to be a blast. We'll see you in about 5 minutes, and we'll see who wins match of the day. Will Solary get another win, or will Alliance take down the Titans.
We'll see you then.